Hello, and welcome to the second session of my Wednesday night series of City of Mist, a game which every time I go to look something up, I'm reminded that it doesn't have an index. I'm going to say that every time I run this game because it's a big honking book and it's really hard to find things. Anyway, this is City of Mist, which is a PbtA powered superhero noir game about our characters who are riffs, who carry sort of mythic stories in them. Our particular group, a cadre, has chosen to be modern gods, and we'll come back to what's going on with them in just a second. If you're watching this and you're interested in seeing RPG actual plays, then you should keep watching. Otherwise, you should probably go watch something else because there's lots of other good stuff out there. But I've got a whole channel of lots of recordings of actual plays that you can find. This is also part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, which you can find out more about at gauntlet-rpg.com. We have blogs, we have podcasts, we have all kinds of cool things there that you can find out about, as well as our online gaming community. So we are going to start, and I want to check in and make sure that everybody's cool with their character. If there's anything that after having played last time you want to make some shifts on, I thought I would check in with you on that. Daryl, are you happy with Kitsune as you've got them?
Yeah, doing good.
Okay. I think I'm going to crank your volume up a little. Okay. All right. What about you, Fraser? Are you happy with Flickr?
I think so. The only things I'm not sure about is if I'd ever use like some of the hipster stuff, but I don't know, like sarcastic remarks, maybe, freethinker, maybe, but fashionable carry-all bag, I don't know when I would ever use that. Like, I guess I could use it to hit somebody or something. And then
I would think so, or that you have something you need. You know, I can see it directly relevant there.
Okay.
But if you find that we go through another session where that isn't getting you anything, we can go and look at the book and see, and ask a different question to generate a different power tag on that.
Okay, sounds good.
And then, Gene, are you happy with the character you built with Grass Cutter? You muted.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of the tags that I have won't come into play until things get more jumpy, but I think I'm fine with it. Also, I populated my sheet on the Roll20. So,
oh, good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And that was not an easy feat, I'll tell you, because that sheet is crazy.
It is crazy. It's beautifully built. I mean, it is one of the nicest Roll20 sheets I've seen, but it also, when you click on things, you're like, okay, now this has popped up, and that's the way the thing I was going to go to. And yeah, it is nuts. I did try to make sure that I wrote down for each character your weakness tags on my list. I have a little cheat sheet for that, as well as the identity / mystery questions for those. So we'll see if I can hopefully draw on that. So let's sort of summarize from last time. Our a missing sort of patron, Excalibur, had a bad day and went to a wine bar. And I believe that that was sort of crossed with Kitsune at the same wine bar, watching his friend Adam from a distance and being very bothered by that. There was a conflict. A person got in Adam's face and kind of roughhoused them, and Kitsune knocked them aside very quietly, but got them out of the way. They crossed paths with Excalibur at that point. Meanwhile, I believe that it was Grass Cutter that essentially you were looking for your friend, the colorist, Katie, right? And we're told that she hadn't dropped off the flats for the coloring. You went to her place, discovered that she wasn't there. She hadn't been there a few days, but she had left the pages both for you and your coworker, and had done an extraordinary job. And it was a little strange that she hadn't talked to anybody, hadn't shown up. And what I remember from Flicker's thing is a long discourse on a pizza place is what I recall most vividly from that. Am I right on that score, Fraser?
Yeah, I don't think we got into anything too heavy with Flicker.
I think you were pulling out of a hacking job when you pulled out the hard drives and got out of there.
Yeah.
Eventually, the group was drawn together with the idea of trying to find Katie. And it was discovered that she had kind of joined up with an artist collective. Essentially, Excalibur knew another contact. You went and you hassled this woman who ran another artist collective, which eventually led you to finally the final place where there was a woman named Midya who was running this artist collective, who was very pleasant, and said, sure, you can see Katie. Didn't let you into the gallery because it was after hours, but brought Katie down, and Katie seemed hyped and very excited and glad to do it. Midya pretty much said, very much pushed aside any suggestion that you guys come in and look at the place while that was going on. And I believe that Flicker got a serious mythic vibe off of her in that situation. But in any case, Katie agreed to go with you, sort of pushed by this woman, Midya. So you were getting ready essentially to take Katie back so she could inform her roommate and so on that everything was fine. As you were gathering, I think the teaser tag that I put on there was for you, Kitsune, was that in the coffee place that you saw across the street, you saw the guy who had pushed Adam over. You saw him seated there, or sort of at the window booth, just staring at this gallery. And that's where we left off. Did I miss any key details in that? No. Oh my God. That would be a first. So Kitsune, let me start with you here. We're just going to come right back in. Excalibur is kind of getting Katie into the car. She's talking with her driver and so on. But you see that person you recognize, and you already had one encounter with this evening. What do you want to do?
So I think that River is intrigued, and so he wants to go over there. And so I think that while they're taking care of Katie, I'm gonna just cut across the street and then kind of go slip into the coffee shop and check the guy out and see what's going on.
Okay. So he is definitely doing that thing where he's seated there watching, he's seen all of you kind of come out of the place. He seems to be, he's got his camera phone out, and he's definitely taking pictures of people. Do you want to kind of watch him? Do you think this rises to the level of an investigate?
I don't think I'm quite investigating because I'm not interacting with him. I just kind of want to check out what he's doing, and he's doing it in a public place. So
yeah, it's a public place. He's watching the gallery across the way. He looks kind of pissed, and he's definitely has taken some photographs of you and your friends. But he does seem to be you're incidental. It's the gallery that he's watching. Okay, Okay, so let me cut back from you to Grass Cutter. What is it you want to have happen with Katie here?
Well, she seems fine, if a little bit manic. We're gonna need to get her away from here, and
Excalibur says, "Do you want me to take her back to her apartment?"
I think I'll look over at Flicker and kind of shrug. Are we hanging around here, or are we gonna take off?
I'm like, oh, let's go. Especially after I get the mythic vibes from her, I think it's better to just extract and leave.
Okay, well, let's gather River, get in the car, and yeah, you can. This is to Excal. Excal, you can take Katie somewhere safe, maybe, unless you guys want to
I mean,
investigate.
apartment.
Yeah, well, let's go someplace somewhere safe and plot out our next move once I guess River's buying some coffee. I don't know.
Yeah. Flicker, you certainly saw the corner of your eye Kitsune dart across the street and is now kind of standing in that coffee shop.
Yeah, I'll just be like 1 minute, and then I'll stop space time.
Okay.
And then go over there to the thing.
And what is it that you want to do?
Just check in with River. Be
Okay.
like, what you doing?
We don't think we need to roll, but there is that sort of. What does that distortion feel like to Kitsune when you do that?
I don't think it's like. Yeah, like maybe it's just like a breeze or something like that, because it's not traditional speedsters where they just like are really fast. It's more like everything else slows down, and then I get to walk through it. So it's like the same thing, but a little bit different. So I think it would just be like a rush of air or something like that. And maybe you catch flickers of me. Because I'm not that fast. It's just the world is so slow.
Kitsune, as she does from time to time, Flicker pops up kind of beside you there in the coffee shop.
I've got someone else's coffee, like a latte or something.
I definitely like jump and then splash whatever coffee I was holding over in my hand. I'm like, geez, dude, don't do that.
Still not used to that, huh?
No, I am not. And then I kind of just like turn around real quick and I like grab some napkins and I like mop myself up, but I'm also trying to like not catch the eye of the guy because I shouted probably a little too loud.
Whoops. Well, we're ready to go with Katie if you are done.
I like look over at you and I'm like, hey, you see that guy, the one like sitting at the window? He's been like taking pictures, and he was taking pictures of us as we came out. And I saw him earlier. He like picked a fight with one of my friends, so I think he's trouble.
Maybe he's just really into you and following you.
He didn't notice I walked in, so I'm pretty sure it's not me he's chasing.
Right, that's a good point. Well, can I also slow down time and then take his camera and leave? Or, well, first I'll tell you that, though. Like, let's make a break for it. And I'll take his camera and we'll go in the limo and then we'll just drive off.
So it's his phone.
Okay.
Yeah, his phone or its camera or whatever he's doing, the pictures.
Sure, absolutely. So I think that is essentially it's going toe to toe. You're trying to take something from him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there are any negative statuses working against you here. So what do you want to use as your tags there?
Perfect spatial sense.
Okay.
Super speed.
That's perfect.
Would act just before it happens Not really, right?
It's more of a dodge thing, I think.
Yeah, I'm not trying to prevent something. I think that's it.
Yeah, so that's a +2. That's a reasonable thing to roll for that. Why don't you go ahead and put the 2 on that clicker and go toe to toe.
Oh, I didn't hit 2, but it would have the same result anyway. 7 to 9.
So 7 to 9. So on a 7 to 9, you managed to achieve your goal, which is pretty much what you want to do there. I don't think he's an active opponent. So rather than maybe him like kind of thinking that he dropped the phone or something and not being able to find it, you get the phone away from him and you're out of there, but he knows something weird has happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fair? Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so you get the phone and then head back across the street?
Oh, it looks... Daryl said, can I give plus a bless?
One of my messenger of good fortune tags is bless with good fortune. So I was just wondering if that would could have pushed that to a 10.
Yeah, I think so. I think though let's see how that works with the aiding things here. Our tags. Yeah, so the way that works is you would change the game, which is essentially kind of creating an advantage. You do that as a move to create juice to boost other people's things. It's a weirdly, they want it to do a lot of stuff, so it's a little more involved than a simple help or support action in the other games. But so if you want to do that, you can certainly roll with that.
I think it's already happened, so okay. I think that just I'll be more proactive to speak up.
Okay, and I'll try to remind us because I'm still getting used to these moves. So you two will get back across the street, and you'll see this guy is looking around the coffee shop like he's looking for somebody, like he doesn't know what's going on. And Grass Cutter, the other two return back. Coffee stained, and they will hop into the car, and you can drive away. Where do you want Excalibur to take you and Katie and the others?
We will go to my studio because we still have to deliver the artwork. So, and Katie needs to talk to my studio mate anyway, so we'll go there.
All right. So you guys go to the bad part of K-Town, and you can see there is that look on Excalibur's face of maybe this is not exactly where she wanted to be this evening, but she will do that. And it's a walk up, right? You guys you're above a Korean restaurant.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so you go up into this studio. Your pal is there. You can see he's still working on the backgrounds on your pages. And
excellent.
He sees you come in with Katie and these other people. Has he met them, do you think?
I don't know.
What's his name?
We'll call him Kevin for now.
Kevin.
I do think we actually named him last time, but we'll call him Kevin.
Okay, Kevin. So Kevin's like, hey.
So I found Katie. I found the artwork, and that's the good news.
Is it done?
Yeah, it looks great too. I take out the artwork.
He drops his pen. And comes over to get his pages and take them from you and go over to his table and start looking through. And he's like, oh, this is good. Oh, good. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's the good news. The bad news is that she is probably high.
Are you saying this in front of Katie?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. She goes, What are you talking about? I'm not high.
You're totally high.
I'm not totally high.
You're on something
I'm
because
not on. She's a little outraged by this accusation because she's just so excited and she's full with such. She just wants to be working, and you seem to be trying to be unpleasant to her.
I'm just saying it how it is. Being pleasant is I'm being truthful is being pleasant, I think. But I'll make her some tea, sit her down, and so what exactly is going on at this sacred or shared hearth place?
And she's like, we're all working, kind of sharing ideas, working on things. And then Miss Nadar, Midya, she comes and she workshops with us, and we've been developing things. And there are lots of people who are developing really interesting new things. One of the things is that I realized that the whole Pantone scale is so limited. Like there are colors in between those colors, and if you think down far enough, you can start to see those and really start to see the world in that way.
Yeah, you're really high. Drink this tea. Maybe it'll calm you down. I think I have some crackers around here.
Are you trying to get her to open up? Are you trying to convince her that something's wrong? What is in this dialogue with her? What are you trying to do?
Actually, I'm just trying to determine if she's under control, under someone's control, or if she's possessed, maybe by a demon or something. Maybe something spiritual. This is weird for her and out of character for her. So I'm trying to see if there's some kind of influence on her.
Sure. So when you're actually kind of looking for engaging with the supernatural and kind of looking behind the veil, it's a little bit different than the other moves. You actually roll with your mythos, your mysteries. And I think you've got 3 mysteries and 1 logos, right?
Yes.
So you can roll with a +3 on investigate for that.
I got a 9.
Sure. So what is it you want to know?
I'm assuming she's being as truthful as she can, but I don't think she's lying to me. So
Okay.
I'm trying to derive from her clues any type of mythos signs that might be, for example, like seeing the color, the beyond the color spectrum is clearly a mythos kind of thing. So I'm trying to piece where it's coming from.
So phrase me that as a question.
Okay.
What is it you want to know?
Who or what is influencing her creative outburst?
Well, you can tell that there is a supernatural influence, and it definitely seems to be that it's this Midya woman. I mean, that much you can tell, and you can confirm that it is her and not someone else who is doing that action. Certainly in the dialogue that she's giving, Midya kind of stands at the center of that.
Okay. That stands to reason. And so I look over at Kitsune and Flicker. She's telling the truth, but that Midya woman is definitely involved. I don't know anything about her. So, and of course, maybe she's not doing anything wrong. I mean, basically, she's enabled my colorist to get off her ass and do 3 months of work in 2 weeks. So this is maybe looking at gift horse in the mouth, but I can't help but think that this is not a good use of her free will.
You've got 2 more questions here. 2 more clues you can get.
Oh, okay.
Power 3. And then I get something afterwards.
Sure. Okay, so is this something that has to happen at that Sacred Hearth collective? I mean, is the power base localized there? If I took Katie out and brought her here and said, paint me some stuff,
No,
is
Katie
it going to
certainly
work?
seems like, I mean, if you give her, if you let her at one of your pads to do some of that digital coloring, she will immediately start, doing that. And again, she's working fast, she's working well, she's working deep in a way you haven't seen.
Okay, well, that's great because I just take out a portable hard drive and say, okay, you owe me so much work. So get going. Kevin, empty out the vaults. We're getting it all right now. So lastly, I think, is this effect temporary, or is this something that she needs to have renewed or regenerated in some way?
I don't think, how do I put this? It feels to you like something that has been changed in her. Not like Midya is like passing energy through her, but like she's like changed, profoundly changed Katie. Now I'm going to come back to you in just 1 second because I have my 7 to 9 effect on that in just a moment. Let me check in before I do that with Flicker and Kitsune. What's your take on this?
Maybe while that conversation's happening, I'm going through the phone with River, and then we can see what this creepo's up to.
You want to hack this phone?
Yeah. What's the password? 11111.
So I think this is investigate.
Okay. Sounds good.
What do you think is the stuff that you have?
I clicked the button already.
Well, that wasn't clever, was it?
No, but I still got a 9.
Okay, so you get 1 question then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just want to know how to get into the phone, I think.
Well, no, you get that. But what is the this is the what info do you want from the phone?
Yeah, what is the goal of Creepo?
You can see that he's got a bunch of shots of the gallery over the last like couple of days. And there's a whole set of texts and messages and things that this guy has been sending over the last 4 or 5 days to someone named Edward, increasingly frantic. Where are you? Why haven't you called me back? What's going on? You're supposed to call me, blah, 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 blah. What's going on? Like clearly getting more and more kind of hysterical about this friend or boyfriend of his named Edward, who is clearly associated with the gallery in some way, and he's clearly not been in contact with this guy.
Okay.
Does that seem fair? Kitsune, what's your thought?
So I'm kind of like bored with that when I realize that what it's about, and I actually want to like jump in his phone and I want to see like what his deal is with Adam. So
okay. Let's have you roll your investigate. What do you think is appropriate there?
So I think school rumors for sure, because it's like an Adam thing. And then I don't know if like daring applies because we did steal the phone. So
yeah,
I would say that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so
that's daring.
Oh, that was a 6.
So, the problem that you have in getting more info from the phone after Flicker is done with it is that the phone is actually destroyed when Katie explodes. So there is this moment when you're standing there and you're talking, and Katie kind of looks up at you, grass cutter, and says, I just feel like all of this energy is just burning within me. And then she explodes in flame, just blows up, that wave of that carrying out. Could I please have you roll face danger, grass cutter?
Yes.
Okay. And the same thing, Kitsune is also going to be rolling that. Flicker, you are a little ways away, since you didn't get a 7, a 9, or a 6 fail there.
So do I get any tags for this?
Yeah, you tell me what tags you want to, what are appropriate for you. Essentially, the sheet of flame explodes out from her. What tags?
Well, okay. I don't think I have anything that'll apply right now.
Okay.
Although, so I'm just gonna roll it.
Okay.
And I got a 3.
So I am going to then, right now, choose side. Let me go back down a tick. So I'm going to put this status here, and you have a status level 3 burnt. That is going to be on you right now. Essentially, that this flame catches you, sends you flying backwards. Kitsune, how is it that you dodge this effect and don't get hit by this sheet of flame?
I probably so I didn't claim the tag, but I still got a 10. So I'm just gonna say it was like my nimble as a fox, and I just saw it coming and dove behind a sofa and maybe probably yanked Flicker with me or something.
So this catches, and actually I think the level 3 status, grass cutter, is not necessarily going to be to you, but I think it's actually to your office. Like, it goes up. Your computers, your hard drive, your pages, the windows blow out, the couch is on fire, your coworker is sprawled at the back of the room. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
So when this happens, when this gout of unnatural fire comes out and hits, you're thrown back. What do you want to do then? The place is on fire. You see your coworker is down. You don't see anything left of Katie.
Okay. Well, what about the fire alarm and the sprinklers in the building?
Do you think you have pretty good sprinklers in this building?
I think that if it was built to code anywhere in the last century, it has to have sprinklers in the ceiling.
Okay, so yeah, those are coming down. It's spraying down.
Okay, well, the fire is not immediate. I assume that Kitsune and Flicker can get themselves out of this. I have to worry about Kevin, so I'm gonna assume that either I took the blast for him or that that he was conveniently at his desk gloating. So maybe he didn't even see her explode. Maybe his back was turned.
That's the way that the mist works. He wouldn't have been looking this way.
Sure. So we just need to get out of here. I'll grab Kevin and say, well, we got to get out of here. Something just blew up. I don't know what it is. Sorry about your pages, but you still owe me 6 pages. So let's go.
Let's have you. I think we're actually going to have you go toe to toe to overcome this status and get him out of here before this fire can. I mean, he got knocked down. This place is up. I'm sorry, you muted again.
Right, so maybe the sprinklers are overcome, right? And this place will go up regardless. Plus, it's probably an old place. So am I trying to convince him, or do you think that
no, he's out. He got hit by the flames. So the
right.
question here right now is about right now he's at risk. So we want to see you essentially overcome the situation to get him out of there safely, if that's what you want to do.
Sure. So I'll grab him and open up a window and go out the fire escape. So
Okay.
I'll go. Does that go toe to toe?
Yeah. Tell me what power tags you're using. You've got water present now. Tell me what you're doing.
Well, and this is a problem with new characters, is that we don't know them all that great.
Absolutely. Especially when you've got like 16 things to look through.
Well, here's the other thing. I have great power with water as long as I'm not carrying someone with me. So, I mean, if it was just me, it would be easy.
Well, do you want to shout for one of your allies to help? Your team.
Sure. Well, I'll pick up Kevin and say, okay, we got to get out of here, guys. Need a hand.
Well, let's come to Flicker, who had stepped out into the hall just before this flame sheet went up. What do we see you do?
Maybe I would. I'm trying to think of how I would put out a fire with special superpowers. I will. Let's see. Maybe I call for the fire department, and then I can like run in. I don't think I could. Like, I can only stop time for myself, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Probably better at getting Kevin out of here than you are at, say, putting the fire out, right?
Right. Okay, so maybe I'll do that. I'll stop time and then run for Kevin.
Okay. Let's have you. We want to get him out of here safely. It's go toe to toe. You're kind of trying to reduce this status that is happening here with the flames.
Yeah.
Now let me stop and check in with Kitsune and see what Kitsune is doing. Perhaps aiding you. I want to check with the situation, what's going on there.
So are we still trying to take Kevin down the fire escape? Or are we trying to like just get him out through the hallway?
Flicker?
Either one's good.
Because if it's the fire escape, then I am a natural born parkour artist, and then I am nimble as a fox, and I can bless their passage with good luck. And it's also pretty damn daring to do all that, like clearing the path and making sure all the ladders are successfully dropped and sturdy, and just making sure that everything goes exactly as it needs to clear, make sure that Grass Cutter can get his like precious cargo down. So
okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we have you roll? Is one of you? Do you think one of you is assisting the other?
Probably I'm helping Kitsune.
Okay, then let's have you roll your change the game.
Changing the game. Change the game. Okay, and then
What do you
can
think
I
is
do act just before it happens?
Absolutely.
Cool. And super speed, I guess?
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Okay, let's have you roll with those tags.
Okay. Change the game.
Yes.
I got a 12. Great success.
Okay. So that'll reduce the sort of negative status effect to a -1 for Kitsune to get this figure out of here, to get Kevin out. So Kitsune, tell me how you're getting Kevin out of here.
So basically, I think that the best way to do that is that it's make sure that the path is clear first. And so you gotta I basically just like parkour and jump from level to level and make sure that the fire escape is all in place. And then I use my blessing with good fortune to reinforce it and make sure it's not gonna let anybody slip and fall or anything like that.
That seems perfect. Let's have you roll go to toe to toe. You have a -1 for the status of the room right now.
So that's So would that be like 3 plus 3?
Yep.
A -1. Let's see. And it's you said go toe to toe?
Go toe to toe.
Oh, it's still a 7.
Still a 7, but you are able to, you achieve your goal. Essentially, that's one pick. And since it's not an active object that's attempting to attack you back, you can get them out of there. That's all you need, is that partial success. And so the 3 of you can get out of this building. The sprinklers are coming down. You can tell that the office is going to be ruined. And you can see people are evacuating out from the restaurant down below, pouring out into the street, grass cutter. The crowd is gathering as it does. And it's one of those things where, this neighborhood, it's going to take a while for rescue services and stuff and the fire department to get here. So people are like grabbing whatever fire extinguishers they can from the nearby buildings and trying to spray that in to help put that out. The guy who owns the restaurant downstairs, who already, as you said, doesn't much care for you, because you're always, you've worked your way through his waitresses, is like, what is going on? Were you guys smoking the dope and then it caught fire? What?
Yeah, it was the meth lab we had upstairs, and that finally went up. What do you think happened? Your restaurant caught fire. Maybe the grease trap or something.
No. We passed the safety inspection on the 3rd try. We are fine. They signed off on that this year.
Well, the fire's going to burn up. Plus, you have insurance, right? It's going to cover it.
And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And you see him kind of do that look around like this is going to be bad, and kind of starts to kind of slip back into the crowd.
But the bigger question is Katie. Katie blew up, and Katie was a real person.
Yeah.
Plus, this was a setup. Midia surely knew this was going to happen, and was trying to either send us a message or take us out,
or both.
Right. So I'm not sure if Midia had any idea of who we were. So assuming that we get Kevin out of there, and we're all out of there, man, I wish we'd taken her to Excal's place. Now I think about it. And we need to regroup. And
do you want to head to the office? Don't you guys have an office space, right?
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we have some kind of setup as the team, right?
Right. We also have our own collective area, like where we do our thing.
Right. It's the sort of subway station, the abandoned, overgrown subway station. Do you want to head there?
Yeah, I think so.
Will they really low?
Well, we'll leave Kevin with the paramedics. I mean, it was an explosion. It's not like, we really did have a meth lab. They'll get that fire out eventually.
Right.
And hopefully some insurance will cover it. But regardless, let's go to the subway station and figure some stuff out.
So the scene wipes, we cut, we find you in this subway station. We establish that it's one of the stations of a particular line here in the city that got closed down. The old style station, maybe they upgrade it to a newer thing, but it's also a station that has it's overgrown. Like there's a lot of nature. We've got those vines and things like that. So Kitsune, tell me one detail we see on screen, about this station. What is it thing we see that's like a distinctive image for us?
I think that one of the escalators is actually, it's not working, but like somewhere upstairs, like a pipe burst or something like that, and then water is just like rolling down it into like a small pond that is formed at the bottom of this escalator.
So we've got kind of a pond with some stuff that's growing around it, and there's this sort of continuous escalator waterfall that's coming down. Okay, I like that very much. What's another striking detail that says that this is a place for mortal gods, Flicker?
A place for mortal gods. Maybe just like a lot of different weird architecture that are throwbacks to our respective incarnations or whatever.
Like there's some decorations and things that you've done. So what would be yours? What is the decor that you have brought as one of these oracles and fates?
Probably like really gaudy kind of like pillars, like fake pillars in my space that delineate my zone. But
like
also
maybe there was an amateur production of like Julius Caesar, and there was some stage prop pillars, and you got those.
Yeah, I cleaned them up, you know.
Okay, they look nice.
Yeah, decent. Definitely not styrofoam.
And so then my question for you, Grasscutter, then is sort of following on that. What is it we see that shows, your part of the base, or the thing that the signature that you've put here?
I think there's a working subway train in the station that is being charged by a lightning rod that runs up to the surface. So we're using the subway train as shelter / energy / battery / possible chariot of the gods. Who knows what that thing can do?
So we see some wires running off of that to the computer setup and whatever connections you have.
Yeah.
Okay. So we take up with you in that moment, and we see you figuring out what your next step is. Now, one of the things they have here in the game, and I don't know if necessarily this is the right point for it, but I want to use it since it's part of the mechanics of the game, is they have a thing called montage, like a downtime thing. And in your downtime thing, when we kind of come back and we see that the three of you have been there kind of catching your breath, doing things, you get some choices about things you'd like to do in that. You can give attention to one of your logos, meaning mark experience on one of your logos. You can work the case and gain 3 clues. You can explore your mythos and mark attention on the mystery's theme and gain a clue. You can do preparations for the next activity, or if you had statuses that were affecting you ongoing, you could clear those. So Kitsune, any of those sound like what you might be doing?
Yeah, I think that probably because I was interrupted, or not interrupted, well, yes, interrupted by the exploding girl, I'm probably like trolling Adam's Facebook to see if I can find out any more information about that dude. Not that I'm jealous or anything, but just, curious.
Okay. So do you think that's, I think we can do that as paying attention to that particular theme and put an experience point. And I'll let you ask a clue, since Adam is your logos theme, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, mark one attention. And what is it you want to know?
So I think that I want to figure out who this person is and like what's their deal? Like what kind of person are they?
So kind of check Adam's pages and so on. And you will put together that this Edward guy from the phone, the one that has gone missing, is an ex of Adam's from maybe about a year and a half ago. Adam's a pretty generous guy. So, he's left some things up. You're not sure how passive aggressive it is, but he certainly still has some photos up of Edward on his thing. And you suspect that whoever that guy was in the cafe maybe thought that Adam knew where Edward was, or maybe that something was up on that score, and that's probably the connection there. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that's good. Wait, do I know the guy's name? Did I track that down, or?
Oh yeah, let's give you the full names there. So the guy's name that's missing is Edward Kittrick.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who you saw in the cafe's name is Ramiro Niwa.
Okay.
What about you, Flickr? I know you want to crack your themes here, but
yeah. It's like, what's this crack? I will, I think, work the case.
Okay. Tell me, you're going to get 3 clues, so 3 questions, but you just have to tell me. I'm just going to hit this microphone. Put that right there. Tell me how you do that. What's your method?
My method is, let's see, what are my tags? Okay. It's definitely hitting up my hacker subculture, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we see all the screens going as you hack the world, and we see you hitting with the keyboards, and there's scripts rolling by, and then we see various forums pop up, and little animated avatars that don't actually happen in real life and things like that.
Yeah, and even hacking into the library where I'm looking for newspaper clippings, and it's like I'm putting in the keywords and it's just searching all over the place, crawling through everything.
Pulling up Ask Jeeves and all that, for your main source.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, Jeeves.
So what are your 3 questions?
So Katie was a person, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's not like an android or something.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, and here's the thing. When she exploded, she incinerated. She went up like a bomb.
Yeah. I want to know if there's any information out there on what's her name? Myriad?
Midya.
Midya.
Here,
very close.
Yeah, Miriam, Midya. They both start with M.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, is she like a new player or?
So, yeah, she arrived in the city a couple of months ago. Sorry, about 6 months ago. Essentially arrived with a bankroll and bought out the gallery area that you saw, had it sort of renovated, and like a month or 2 after that, started to troll Craigslist and the sort of local art community and draw together artists and things who were maybe kind of down on their luck.
Interesting. And are all of those people alive?
So that's your second question, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Is anybody dead?
There is an odd thing as you're kind of checking through and doing a kind of a neural net search to put together who's likely names, things like that, it isn't necessarily that you can say definitively that these people were associated with Midya, but there are 4 or 5 of these people that you would classify as these young, hungry, at-risk artists in the area around there that have gone missing. And all the info points to them likely having been part of that collective, and now nobody can find them, including a guy named Edward Kittrick.
Dun dun dun. Okay.
Third question.
Yeah, I'm curious to know. I don't know how this tag works, but my divination tag, does any of this have to do with the riot, the mystery, the monumental future event, which nothing will be the same?
It could. That there's certainly the fire that you saw there from her. There was a big fire in the city. Something was burning the old order down.
She seems like evil.
Grass cutter. Let's come to you and see what we see you doing in your downtime.
Sure. I need to get rid of the status effect. So.
Oh, I think we already cleared that out. That was I decided we put that on the room as a thing rather than hitting you with that.
And I'll remove it from my sheet. Well, okay. Well, that's what I had planned to do, but now I guess.
Sorry, I should have been clear about that.
I will. First off, I'm probably going to have to do a ton of paperwork about that fire, and talk to my publisher about the comic book, and all kinds of things like that. So I think that is working on my logos.
Okay, so you can mark 1 attention on your logos, and let's give you a clue, a question based on that.
Okay, so is on the sheet, is that a buildup? Is that how that works? Oh, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a little 3 attention boxes on it.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, so what is there any information related to the case or something you want to draw out from that? Do you want to see?
Yeah, I think that that this collective, the Shared Hearth, has to have a paper trail. I mean, there's too many artists that are involved, so I'm looking over the financials and any of the licenses or anything like that, and see if I can untangle that as part of the part of our general downtime here.
There is a remarkable scarcity of a trail, but you will get a link to somebody who's clearly one of Midya's contacts, essentially the person who's handling the legal stuff here. Is a fairly highly placed lawyer in town by the name of Epi Pinto.
Okay.
He is a one of those sort of shark lawyers, skillful, highly placed, working with Midya. Doesn't seem like his kind of thing, but it does seem like he's the one sort of destroying the paper trail, keeping things off the books, all of that kind of thing.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
Yeah. And I assume they have all the basic stuff. Do they have a website?
Does the Hearth have a website?
Yeah.
Yeah, very basic, like very much a Squarespace.
Sure. Do they have shows or anything like that?
She essentially, it's the gallery viewing is by invitation.
Okay. All right.
So do you guys have like a meeting table? Do you have a round table? Do you have a coffee table? Or do you just have a series of couches? What do you think, Kitsune?
I feel like Excalibur would never meet in a place that didn't have really nice furniture.
Okay.
So I'm sure that there's probably like a battle station table that is very large.
Has little iPad style things built into it, has a projector, all of that kind of thing. This is the space that she's made very formal. Yeah, that makes sense. So the three of you can meet there. You know, she's not here, so you're not using coasters. So it's all good. So Kitsune, do you have any strong feelings about where the group needs to go to next? Do we want to do a once around with individual stuff, or do the group want to collectively act? How do you feel about that?
So I think that we should probably see what we can find, like get into this place and see what we can find. And I think that that's Kitsune probably volunteers, and it's just like, yeah, I can sneak in. Like, it's no problem. I'll just, you know, parkour backflip into the place.
Okay, so that's kind of I'm not sure what I got out of that. Are you saying that you think we should do more individual things? Because you can do that solo, or we could do that as a team. Do you want to do that solo while we do some other individual
I'm very
stuff?
excited about the idea of him going off by himself and breaking in. So I just want to put that out there as the GM.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Okay.
I can do that kind of thing simply because I can turn into water and just like flow into places. So, but that's fine. Okay, so I think what we're saying is we're gonna do some more individual things and see what Kitsune can do, and then we'll do our other stuff.
I think Kitsune probably is motivated by this because he wants to like figure out what's going on with this, this Edward guy, just to like, you know, because he's personally invested in this, and not that, you know, Max isn't, but yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well then let's do it once around. Let's check in and see how each of you are working the case. And let's go ahead and start with Kitsune. So Kitsune, do you imagine that you'd go and do this during that day, or do you wait till night? Or what do you imagine?
I think I'd definitely wait till the night, just because it seems like it's likely that it'll be easier to sneak in.
Okay. And so we see you parkouring across and trying to break in, and essentially you're trying to do this and not get caught, right? So let's see here. How do we want to do this? I think this is going toe to toe. I think this is we're going to see you overcoming the security of the building and attention. Does that seem like a reasonable way to handle that? So what are your skills for breaking and entering, overcoming security? What are your tags?
So I'm going to definitely bless myself with good fortune to push that forward. And then I'm also going to probably give myself an illusory appearance. I think I'll probably make the appearance of one of those mooks that I saw with Midya, so that I'm not really as noticeable. And then I think that I'm probably going to try to enter from a skylight. As a parkour artist and nimble as a fox, I've definitely scaled from the roof.
All right. So let me ask you this. Can you bless yourself with great fortune?
So to help anyone who has suffered from misfortune. So, you know, it's probably not a thing I can do on myself, actually.
Yeah, because your thing doesn't work on gods or spirits, and that's what you are.
Yeah. So,
but the illusory appearance works and the parkour works. Does that seem cool here? You cool with 2 tags or do you,
so I'm trying to kind of understand like what's the like why nimble as a fox and parkour artist almost seem like they're basically the same thing. And so like
you could use both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can absolutely use both of those.
I'm just trying to think of situations where like I would use one versus the other. So
I think maybe I think one of the things is we've got is the nimble as a fox is probably your broad tag. Everybody can have one tag that like covers a lot of things, and so I think that's probably your one that is useful in multiple situations physically.
Okay. All right. So then that would be a +3.
Yeah.
Let's go toe. That's a 9.
It's a 9. So you get to choose one. Not inflicting a status. That's so weird. Don't know why it did power 6 on that.
Yeah, that like anytime I click one of the, maybe I'm not doing it right. I click the boxes of the tags that apply so that they appear on the sheet, but then that always like puts additional points in power.
Yeah, no, what I do is I don't click the actual box in the tags. I just click the up and down on the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's go back and let's try that again.
Oh, so I guess I'll uncheck all of these things. So then they just won't show up on the result thing.
It won't show. No, I guess you're right. I guess you can just do the clicks and then hit roll. Let me look here real quick. Sorry, let me reset on Excalibur's. Okay. And what does that do? Sorry, I'm just checking this. Yeah, it does look like you can just click the boxes and.
So I think maybe it's just something weird with my character sheet because when I click the boxes, it puts that 3 in power and not in plus.
That is weird.
That's right? Like when you click the tag buttons, for me, it just adds it to power only. And then I don't add plus or minus.
Oh, okay.
Right. Because your power is what you're rolling with. Plus and minus would be statuses that give you benefits. Minuses would be statuses that work against you.
Okay, I was doing it. I was putting like the pluses manually because I thought that they were.
No, that makes sense because that's what I told you guys to do the first time. And now I realized I was completely wrong, and you guys are getting it right more than I was.
Okay, well, I'm going to re-roll for those 3 then. And yeah.
Look at this. So what do we see on screen? How do we see your illusory appearance and your parkour, your nimble, let you get into this building here?
So Kitsune is running over the rooftops of this place and like jumps across like a really wide gap in between the buildings and then hits the ground, hits the rooftop. And he like goes to one of the skylights and then picks the lock on it. And then as he like kind of falls from the skylight onto the floor, his appearance just like shimmers. And then when he hits the ground and stands up, he's like this like, you know, nondescript looking guy in like in a suit who's the same kind of guy that you saw with Midja before.
And we will see you move around this place. As she said to you when you were here before, there is, you know, a large sort of open design set of art workshops there on that second floor. And there are people there working. And, you know, there are people doing throwing clay. There are people doing charcoal drawings. There are people, you know, doing drafting, that kind of thing. There may be 7 or 8 of these artists there, and when you go in, they don't even pay attention to you. They have that same look, that same burning fire of intensity that Katie did, and you've got enough intelligence and judgment to see that they're doing amazing work, and they're doing it just like rapid pace. That they're ripping through drawings and putting them on a stack, and you can see that everybody has lots of things that they've been working on. You don't see Midya around right now, but you can certainly see that there is this sort of after hours activity that is going on, where these young artists are kind of just producing. So let's cut away from you. I assume we're going to come back and have an investigation from you, but let's cut away from that. Let's come to Flickr.
I'm thinking that I would hit up the some sort of like hipster place where all of these artists would be going, and then see if there's any kind of like urban talking, like legends or whatever, about like all these people that have gone missing.
Yeah. So not the coffee shop across the street, but like another one a little ways away that's more hipstery.
Yeah, anywhere that these hungry artists would hit up.
Absolutely. So you'll find another one of these places, another coffee shop. This one used to be like that coffee shop, Been There, Done That, but it like stopped being a franchise. So it's actually Been There, Bun That, and it's a dim sum coffee place. Very hipster. They've got all these kinds of steamed dumplings and coffee there, and it's very bohemian, Chinese bohemian, as it were. And so is this your kind of crowd? I mean, is this your people here?
I think so. Sarcastic remarks, free thinking, fashionable carry-all bags. This is my people.
So it seems to me like we're going kind of straight to an investigate here, as you want to try and pull out info from them.
Yeah.
What is it? Was your appropriate for working this cafe dim sum place?
Let's see. I don't know.
Sarcastic remarks seems certainly appropriate given the location.
Yeah, I don't think free thinker, right? Like free.
What do you? I mean, how would it apply? What do you think?
Yeah, free thinking to me is like open to like weird information and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the sort of bohemian sense, but I don't know if that would help.
I'm good with that. But you are working with artists.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I doubt that people care about my bag, so I'll go with that. And this is investigate, you said,
Investigate.
Right? Oh, 12. That's pretty good.
Wow. Okay, you get two solid questions.
Yeah, I want to know if any of these people know what's going on, or if there's rumors circulating about these people. Like, are they dead? Are they gone? Or yeah.
So this is kind of getting people are getting they're talking about this. They're clearly a little bit nervous. At the beginning of the last session, this is something that Excalibur kind of walked into and didn't kind of shut down that convo. These people were kind of talking about the fact that there have been a number of their artist friends that have kind of vanished and things like that. But one of the things someone says is that they had heard that somebody had seen one of his artists, let's call her Susan, that she might have been killed when that bomb went off in that Greek restaurant. Like, so she had a friend who saw Susan go in there before that building went up, and that's one like the few things that people are like, that's really weird. It's strange that other people are going missing. Is this domestic terrorism? What is going on? Maybe was she just caught at the wrong place? At the wrong time. And that's sort of the first thing you've heard about this story.
Where is Susan?
Oh, nobody knows where she is.
Is there a lead?
No one's heard from her a lot. They've asked, about that. They have a list of victims from the bombing, but her name wasn't on the list.
Oh.
However, given what you saw of Katie, that there was nothing left.
Yeah. Oh. So Susan is the one that blew up? I thought Susan was the one who witnessed someone blowing up.
No, someone saw Susan going into the one, and Susan being one of the missing artists before the restaurant blew up.
Oh, okay. Is there any other witnesses from that place that might have seen what exactly happened?
That's a police thing. You have to check with the police. This is all hipster secondhand stuff at this point.
Right.
Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Grass cutter. You're more of a man of action, but what is it that you want to do?
I think I'm making an appointment with PbtA and go see him.
Okay. And what is the sort of state of business for Mr. Pinto?
I think I just suffered a catastrophic fire and I want to sue somebody and I need to figure out who to sue.
That is excellent. That is the kind of thing that will get you in. And so, yeah, let's cut to, it's a moderately upscale law practice office. He's clearly got a team of, young hires just out of law school that he'll grind up and spit out over the next few years. He's got, all the furnishings and stuff look nice, but the actual quality isn't that great. Eventually you'll be let into this office and you will see this guy. He's fairly broad shouldered, clearly works out, 6 foot, kind of more ashen skin, shaved head, in that sort of perfect way where someone clearly has bought all the accoutrements to shave their head so it looks just perfect. They clearly, do a little bit of work on that.
Sure.
And, so, hey, good to see you. Why don't you come on in and sit down then?
Mr. Pinto, I was hoping you could help me. I just had a catastrophic fire. It's put my business out, and I need to sue someone. And I understand you're the man to talk to.
Well, that is certainly the case. Why don't you give me the pertinent details? Just about that. Let me get one of my assistants here and take notes and get the various relevant facts down. And he'll call in one of the interns and he has you go through the details. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that seems like you think so. This restaurateur, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I could either sue the restaurant or I could sue the landlord, or my insurance company is pushing back. I could sue them. Basically, my whole livelihood is damaged, and I need to get some recompense.
Well, this is a good case. And what is it exactly you do?
I'm a comic book artist, and I also do some other fine arts things.
Did you lose a lot of equipment?
I lost a year's worth of work. My
original pages, collectibles, that kind of thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Inventory, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars of assets there.
See, here's the thing: you're thinking a little too small here. we'll also be looking at the sort of shock. I mean, obviously, in this kind of instance like this, you're not going to want to work for a while, so that's certainly affecting your livelihood. But you said we could sue just one of them. Done right, we can sue all of them, and we can get this right for you.
That's great. Have you done this kind of thing? It's a little weird. The other attorneys that I've talked to, they haven't really kind of understood what I do. I mean, my comic book is a moderate success, but
I have a friend who works with the arts, and they can give me I can talk to some people, and we can get a good assessment. First off, I want you to say, whenever someone is asking you about what you do, I want you to talk about yourself being a graphic illustrator. Not a
Okay.
comic book art, but a graphic illustrator. Fine artist on that sound. That's the way we're going to approach this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, uh, does he want like a retainer, or is he gonna work off percentage?
He will work off percentage, which is a significant percentage.
Sure. At least 15%, maybe
yeah.
more.
Yeah, probably more.
I kind of look around his office though. I'm really not here to have representation. I'm kind of
Absolutely.
looking for,
So
where's his files? Does it look like his paralegal actually handles all the data?
it does look like he's got people, he's got paralegals and stuff that are handling things, and he's got these young hot shots in. So is your do you think we're actually doing the investigation here, or are you setting up for later? How are you picturing this?
I'm thinking that I'm not so much here to do like pick his brain, because I think that he might be a mundane and might not know all the details about shared hearth. So
Mhm.
what I want to do is actually get the files and get the deeds and check the paper trail myself. So at some
That's going to
point
require breaking in later, probably.
yeah, we're breaking in now.
And how would you break it now? Tell me what that's going to look like.
Well, okay, I think we're going to conclude this. I'm going to say, well, I go over you can do some really cool things. What I'm hearing, blah, 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 wants to hear, and then I will on the way out, I'll kind of slip away towards the bathroom, and I will turn into water, and then maybe just wait it out
Okay.
until the office closes.
Let's see here. What is that? So that's that. I think that we're going to have you roll sneak around.
Okay, so I'm going to use transform into water and narrow spaces as my tag. So I'll punch
That
those
seems
guys.
perfect.
All right, so we've determined that adds my power, but not to the pluses, right?
Yeah, so just click your
The
your
right
tags
tags.
and then roll.
All right, sneak around. All right, I got an 11.
Yeah. So we see you transform into water. We see you shift through, and this is after hours. We cut to the last person going out for the night. They click the thing. They turn off the lights, and we will see you reform and heading for the files. Let's take our 5-minute break here, and then let's resolve those investigation rolls and check in with Flickr, and we'll figure that out. Okay. It's always hard when you have a mystery built around the gallery, and then the gallery owner doesn't show up. So.
She's very mysterious.
Well, the thing is, the Thursday night group, someone also picked Excalibur, but they're running her as like an 18-year-old trust fund kid, spoiled brat. So there is a weird cognitive dissonance for me between the two. So, Kitsune, you are looking around this place. What are you looking for? How do you want to describe your investigation?
So basically, I am looking around the place, trying to find something that looks suspiciously not like an artist's colony. I am trying to see if I can find, like, specifically like a place where maybe something is being done to these kids, or some sort of like, like clues as to what exactly Midja is getting out of this, aside from what I assume is like lots of really great art that she's probably selling.
All right. Well, let's have you roll with an investigate check, and what do you think are your tags for you to do this investigation?
So I'd say my illusory appearance is allowing me to get into places that like no one's really like paying attention to me, because I'm sure that like mooks like me kind of walk all over the place, and so like me. And then I think that impersonating someone and, sneaking around in a place I'm not supposed to be is probably kind of daring.
Yeah.
In a way.
Let's do that.
And I think that's it. I don't think I've got anything else that's going to help me out.
Seems fair.
Okay. So is this investigate?
Yep.
Ooh, and that's a miss.
So you are moving around through here, and you will make your way into one of these sort of like backroom offices that are kind of a little bit of ways away from where the students are at, and kind of move in here, and you will see on the wall are a set of like clippings and pictures and things, and with the kind of classic like strings from one to another, like somebody's mapping out like an organization. And there are some things written in, below it that it's not a language you understand. And you're kind of starting to move over there and look at it like, okay, what is this? This is very strange. When you hear people coming in that way of loud talking, the artists haven't been talking. They've been just focused on their work. And you'll hear sort of the click as some people are coming into this room. So what do you want to do?
If it's an office, then I'm assuming there's probably like some sort of like cabinet or something that maybe I could like jump in real quick and hide.
Oh, yeah, you better figure that out. Let's have you sneak around to avoid being detected by these people as they come in here.
Well, I am nimble as a fox, so.
Okay, there's one. What else you got?
I think that's going to be it, though.
Okay. Let's have you roll sneak around with the power of 1.
It's barely a 7. Okay, so it gets complicated. The MC chooses 1.
So you will see Midja come in. And she comes in with these 2 people. One of them is a maybe Middle Eastern, Turkish, it's hard to tell, woman with her hair kind of tied up in a tight bun. And the other one is this kind of broad-shouldered gentleman with this cue ball head that we've already seen on screen once before. And they turn on the light, and they go to start talking. And Midgey's going, all right, there's at least one of them who is on the edge that we need to use soon before things go wrong. And the lawyer guy says, oh, by the way, I need to ask you about some things about valuations of collections. And she's like, okay. He goes, yeah, this comic book artist came to talk to us today. And she goes, wait, what? And you will see the sort of Turkish looking woman kind of stops. She's not paying attention to that, but you see her looking around like she's smelling something. We'll come back to you in just a second. Does that seem fair? Hey, Flicker, how about you?
I'm doing pretty good compared to that.
You had that nice thing. You bought a round of dumplings for the hipsters and got some info. So where do you go to next?
I want to probably figure out more information. I want to hack the police to see if there's any witnesses of that Greek restaurant death.
Sure. So that's investigate with hacking, huh?
Yeah, I want all their evidence. They
Okay.
must have put it in the digital area somewhere. Yes, and so I'm using computers.
Yep.
Network communications or hacker connections.
Yeah, you could do all three.
Yeah.
Would you like to be potentially traced so you can mark some XP?
Oh, interesting. Okay, sure.
Okay. So click that. Look at that.
Cool. Yeah. Nice.
And then you get to mark attention on that. Don't forget.
Attention. But you. Okay, cool. What is crack, by the way?
So crack is when you act against the idea of you wanting to be free and not obey the system. When you act against that identity, then you take damage, which is the crack.
And then I permanently get a minus or something?
No, when you hit 3 crack, you lose that identity.
Oh.
It flips to something else.
Super cracked. Okay.
Yeah. It'll flip to a mystery. You essentially have to change the identity to another thing.
Gotcha. Okay, and I'm investigating?
Yeah.
10. Yeah, killing it.
2 questions.
Yeah, what evidence do they have from the Greek place?
Here's the thing. They don't have anything. They don't know what the bomb was. They have IDs from the people who were in there. But none of them sort of fit the profile of any kind of bomber. It doesn't look like, an accidental thing, but there's definitely a central point of explosion that's in the middle of the restaurant. And they have some CCTV footage of just before of this young woman walking into the restaurant, and then it explodes with that same flame that you saw happen in the office there.
And does she look like agitated or just normal or
like excited?
Oh yeah, of course. Okay. And is the Greek restaurant in any way related to that collective or Midya?
No, they don't have anything that ties to that. However, what seems to be the thing is that there have been several of these bombings. Essentially hit this restaurant, hit a travel agency, hit a bodega. that all that when you first look at it seem unrelated, but the police notes show that these are all operations, businesses owned by a guy named Rusopoulos, who is a highly placed criminal underworld figure. Essentially, there is a significant Greek mafia here in the city, and he is part of that. Like, he's the godfather of that.
Right.
And all of these things seem to have been targeting his operations.
Oh. He's bringing in all the feta cheese in the city.
That, in fact, is the case, literally and figuratively.
Cool.
Does that seem like fair answers?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Then let's come to you, Grass Cutter. You want to go through this, find out what you can, go through the records?
Yeah, I'll go through the records and find Midya Nadar's records, and I don't think I have time to read all of it, so I'll just take pictures. But I'll try to hit the highlights, like what her holdings are, what is Mr. Pinto doing for her, and see if I can connect the dots really quickly.
Let us have you make an investigate roll. What do you think is appropriate here for this?
Sees the pattern is pretty much the only thing that I have.
Let's do that then.
All right, so we'll do the investigate. All right, so I got an 8.
So what's the question that you have?
Well, other than all the general stuff, basically I just need to see, like, is there a method to Midya Nadar's dealings with Mr. Pinto? Is she buying specific things? Does she have a purpose?
Here's the thing that you'll get from, I think, from the records that kind of following down that lead. It is very clear that Pinto there's no charge sheets here. There's no billing records. There's no thing. He is clearly doing this for no cost, like no pay for this, which strikes you as bizarre. And essentially, basically, he set up her business, and got that in play. It really feels to you like there's some sort of like they are clearly conducting some kind of criminal operation, and this guy is deep in it with her. He clearly cleared the path for her to set this up. And the other thing that will strike you is, what you found about Midya Nadar is the idea that she came from out of town. Mm-hmm. But it actually looks like she was here in the city. And up until about 6 months ago, she was this accountant, like in a small, like little like CPA firm downtown. And then she vanishes off the grid and then kind of pops up maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, here connected with Pinto. And you have enough sense and enough knowledge to see this is somebody who's awakened. You know that she is a mythic thing. You can point that something happened at that point, something awakened in her, and either Pinto knows something about those kinds of things, or her whatever powers were convinced him to come in on this. You're not sure.
I don't get the sense that Pinto himself is awakened.
That's a different question.
Yeah, okay. I was
That's a
trying to
different
get the
question.
2
You
for
got
1.
one power.
Okay. Well,
Um,
I'm going to upload the photos to our cloud and text Flickr the feed. This is happening at night, so
and because it was 7 to 9, I get my
sure.
choose one. And the thing I'm going to say is the investigation exposes you to danger, because we cut away from that to Midya Nadar saying to Pinto, that guy should be dead. That guy should be dead. Don't talk to him again. We need to find out who he is. We need to find out who his friends are. We need to find out if he's one of us, and we need to kill him. And the third person in the room there, Kitsune, says there's something wrong. Kitsune, what do you want to do?
Okay. I don't know that there's a way for me to like make a quiet escape unnoticed.
Can always try.
Oh, okay.
Now, here's one of the things. One of the options that you have is you can burn one of your tags. And when you burn one of your tags, you get a 10 plus result. You get a 10 result with a 3 power. Now, you don't get to use that tag anymore until you do an action to recover it. We have to do a scene to do that. But it is a way to guarantee you could escape. But you'd have to like burn out some of your abilities to do that. Or you could take them on. And I'm all for that too. What do you think?
I think that, I actually, I think I'm gonna hold on to the idea to burn a tag real quick, but I think what I'm actually gonna try to do is, and I haven't used this ability yet, but I want to like see if I can put them in a hypnotic trance.
Okay. So you're going to essentially use your abilities to essentially inflict the status hypnotic trance on them, is what you want to try and do?
Basically just, I think I want to try to like, so basically I want to try to do some sort of elaborate illusionary trickery with hypnotism to try to get them to not pay attention to me as I walk out the door.
So I think that's using your hypnotism to do sneak around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's see it. Tell me what tags are that you're going to use for that.
So illusory appearance.
Okay.
Inducing a hypnotic trance and making hypnotic suggestion, but it's elaborate, so that's a weakness tag too.
Okay. So subtract that one. So click those.
1, 2, 3, and the weakness. Okay. And that's going to be sneak around.
Yes.
Oh, we're in 11.
It is the thing is that woman, you see her kind of look around, and you will see as you're kind of start to draw, you will see this eye open up in the center of her forehead. And she starts looking around, and the other two are paying attention to her. And she's kind of looking, she's starting to scan the room. And tell me what is the illusion? How is it that you get out before she can bring that scan to bear on you?
So actually what I do is there's probably like, I think there's like a coat rack or something in the far corner of the room. And then so I use my my hypnotic suggestion to make it look like it's like someone else who's like sneaking out from there and trying to run the opposite way. And then I slip out.
And you will get out, and you'll kind of hear a crash as they clearly, rather than any kind of talking or anything like that. They clearly respond with ultimate force and pulverize that coat rack, which gives you the opportunity to get out of dodge. And we see you kind of running, and I assume you want to escape the building.
Oh yeah, like full tilt running.
Running, we do that parkour jump between pillars up to the skylight and then out of there. Shall we bring everybody back together? So let's cut to the to meeting again at the station, at the base.
I've got more pizza.
It's adequate.
Hawaiian.
I pick off the pineapple.
Yeah, that's not really pizza. That's like a
another level of amazing food. It's another level.
This pizza goes to 9,000. So let's start with you then, Flicker. What's your take on this? I'm going to assume that information is shared.
Yeah, so
that's just my general thing. So what's your thoughts on what you've heard then?
Yeah, I tell everybody what I found, and then I'm wondering, is one of the people that is with Medja the like, can I get any photo or whatever of that fellow, the one that she's targeting, and circulate that to the other people to see if they know anything about that, like if we've seen him around or anything like that?
Well, I think you can put together 2 and 2 the board, and what you've read is that they are very clearly targeting this guy, Rusopolis.
The feta guy.
Yeah, the feta guy. It's the most dismissive way to describe a Greek mafia.
The feta king.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fraser.
So that's how I describe it to everybody too. I'm a hipster. I'm like, this feta guy, he's getting targeted. Yeah, he's a big deal. But I wonder why she is targeting this person in particular. Like, it doesn't seem like their businesses would be compatible or something, right? Like that she would want to absorb his interests or something.
No.
Like, she's just into this weird art gallery stuff, and this guy runs a mafia. So what do people think?
Important thing is, why do you keep ordering pineapple on a pizza? That makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, you have a perfectly good food, which is pizza. Then you have a okay food, which is pineapple. Why contaminate the pizza with the pineapple?
I like sprinkle some feta cheese on the Hawaiian.
River's just sitting there, like staring at you in like horror.
I looked into the paper trail for this this Epipento guy. He is doing all the work for Minya Nadar for free, which means he is part of the conspiracy, not just a flunky. And she is clearly awakened. She used to just be a CPA not too long ago. And also, she tried to kill us. So
she tried to actually kill me, and she had a third eye on her forehead.
Midya?
Yeah.
Not Midya, but the other woman who had first spotted you. But
okay.
Yeah, but clearly she's also weird.
Yeah. So we've got third eye lady, feta guy, and exposure guy. That's who we're after.
So at least two mythos, or 2 awakened, and a terrible pizza. I don't. This might be a point of just survival at this point. They clearly have it out that we're in their way. So just motivated by survival, we need to take them out. But maybe Miss Wainwright has more on on the bigger picture, if that's what she's interested in. But hey, let's just go kick their asses.
Yeah, well, yeah, they did try to kill us all. I'm sure that bomb was meant for all of us.
So you're calling Katie a bomb now?
Yeah, well, she turned into a bomb, and they clearly were trying to kill us, right?
She wasn't a great colorist, but she was a person. Okay.
It's nothing personal against Katie. It's just that like they all turn into bombs. Like she was talking about how someone else was gonna, was about to like run out of usefulness and that they were gonna have to deal with that. And obviously other kids have been blowing up. So it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal.
So wait a second. Do you think the purpose is to make the bombs, to turn these artists into the bombs, or do you think that is a byproduct of the artwork that she is getting from these people?
Well, from what I found is all of these artists went off in establishments from the feta guy. I can't even remember his name now. But
Rusopolis.
yeah, so it seems like she's like manipulating circumstances to attack this fella.
I still can't help but feel like it might be just like the world's weirdest office perk or something, because I don't think that's like her main point is to blow up her competition.
Yeah, it does. I'm not really sure how they intersect, but she's definitely trying to kill us.
Do we want to still connect it? We can maybe try to get hold of the Feta King and connect the dots there, or we can act without that.
Well, we know that she is the bad one already. So if we spend more time trying to connect it, then they have more opportunity to try to hurt us again, maybe.
Okay, but we don't know that this other guy's on the level. I mean, we've all seen mafia movies before. What happens when one mafia king tries to take out another? It's because they're both criminals.
Yeah. Maybe she somehow works for him and then she's trying to supplant him.
What would Excalibur do?
WWED.
I kind of feel like we shouldn't do anything until we know a little bit more, or at least until Grandma can chime in. Like it's not a thing to just go off and like kill somebody. Like we would just be like them, and I'm not down for that.
I don't know if we go kill them.
We definitely need to stop them with extreme prejudice. I mean, they try to kill us. That is the most basic survival function ever. Someone tries to kill you, you kill them first. I think I saw that on a TV show. That's how important it was.
Right. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm good at killing people. I think I might be okay at stopping people. If we get some evidence together, then they could get arrested. So I guess it depends what our ultimate goal is. Are we just trying to kill her?
Well, we definitely need to stop her, right? I guess killing may or may not be on the table.
We gotta figure out how to save those other people too, though. Like whatever they're doing, like there's a ton of people in that studio.
Right.
What about your friend? Isn't he involved?
You mean Adam? No, Adam's
Greg?
not involved.
Oh. I'm sorry, they all start to blur together. There's been so many.
Adam is different, okay?
Okay. All right. I didn't mean it.
Maybe that means that Ramiro might be our way in. Or it might be a distraction. He's the guy who's looking for like probably dead Edward.
So you think that Midya will go after this Ramiro guy?
I mean, I think that she tried to blow us up and we like were there for all of about 15 minutes. And Ramiro's been sniffing around for probably a lot longer because Edward went missing how many weeks ago? So yeah, like a couple weeks. So he's probably like not long for this world either.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Here's the other thing too, is that this media person probably knows that we're on to her, and it's not going to be easy to get into that building at this point. They have at least 2 awakened powers with them, and they're pretty smart. But so maybe we should get more allies. I like that idea. I still don't like this pizza, but I like that idea.
It really is terrible pizza. You have terrible taste in pizza.
Do not order pizza ever again.
Well, I'll just eat myself, and you can find your own food.
We all chip in for this, Flicker. You should be ordering multiple pizzas.
This is what happened when Excalibur goes off on a tour or wherever he is.
But now we actually get to eat pizza. You know, she's always like trying to feed us like salad and stuff.
I know. I've had so much quinoa. I'm starting to break out in hives. Okay. How do we get a hold of this Ramiro guy? Or how do we find him?
I may have found him on, like, you know, Big Book. So, like, I could just, like, send him a DM and tell him that I've got information about Edward, which is kind of a dick move, but we'll get him to meet up with us.
And so is he bait?
Maybe. I haven't thought that far ahead yet.
What does Romero look like? I've never actually seen him. Both of you two have seen him.
I don't remember.
I forget.
They can describe a kind of disheveled looking, tall, lanky white guy.
So he's creepy. Is he creepy?
It's not.
He looks like he hasn't slept. So.
Okay. Where do you want to meet him? Because he's not coming here.
Oh, no.
To your super base.
Grandma would kill us.
To that coffee shop.
Oh, that's it. Just be like, hey, dude, I found your phone. Oh, no, never mind. That can't go down.
Yeah, the phone's gone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could be like, here's your phone, and it's just like a charred brick.
So you want to message him and meet up with him then, right?
I think so.
And essentially you say, you know something about Edward, right?
Yeah, just be like, hey, like we think we know what happened to Edward, and we think it has to do with that creepy school he went, or that creepy art collective he went to. Meet us at this Italian restaurant a couple of blocks away from the art place.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna go Greek, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will cut to that. When you get there, he's, you know, already there in that way that kind of speaks to his level of desperation. And he's, you know, seated. This is a mom and pop Italian place. You know, it's got the plastic red and white covered things. It's got the placemats that have the map of Italy on it, with all the different little things on it. And he's kind of sitting there, and he hasn't seen any of you to be able to recognize you. The closest it came was the interaction continued between you and him, and you blurred yourself. So yeah. He kind of doesn't, you know, place it when you come in. And when you approach the table, he kind of looks up. You see he's got like a notebook and some like papers, and he kind of looks up. He said, hey, are you the one who contacted me?
He's the one that was taking pictures of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let Katsuni take this.
he's having second thoughts about throwing Ramiro to the wolves because his little gay heart is just like, no. So yeah, I guess since the two of y'all have just kind of stood back, I'm just like, okay, like, and I try to like put on like my tough guy face, which, you know, considering I'm like 19 years old, is nothing. And then like
have you seen Eduardo? Have you heard anything? I mean, I just got to know.
I think you should know, like, a lot of people have been disappearing from that art school, and like,
because I know.
Well, what do you know?
I think it's some kind of cult. I think it's some kind of cult that's going on. I think that's like a whole like crazy cult thing that they get in like people's heads and stuff. And they've been, so here's the thing, is they've been like some of the kids who were part of that, they've been near places where bombs have gone off. And I think they might be sending them in as suicide bombers.
Ramiro, I think you're right. And I think that you're putting yourself in danger by investigating this any further.
Well, here's the thing. I think there's a pattern to who they're attacking, to who they're targeting. They're targeting these restaurants run by this Greek guy and businesses run by this Greek guy. And I reached out to him to talk to him about that. And I haven't heard back yet from them. But you know, there's got to be something there. But tell me, what do you know about Eduardo? Or Edward? I mean, how do you know? What do you know?
At this point, like River just like looks at the others and just like completely in over his head and is like, oh.
We know that Edward is dead. We don't know that. Okay, well that's pleasant. We need. Should we? Okay, well, as a table player thing, are we making him bait, or are we gonna get him to come into the plan and play a part to like try to lure her out and stuff like that, or what's the dynamic we're going for?
Well, a couple things. Do we know that that he's in danger? Like, is he actively being targeted?
Well, I mean, she sent a bomb after us within 15 minutes, and he's still walking around.
Yeah,
and has as much information as we do.
So we're probably more effective bait than him. So he's probably more valuable, you know, alive, and you know, it's the right thing to do to make sure that he survives. So I think we should the angle we should play is that we need to get him to safety.
Okay,
first.
Okay, yeah, and it seems like we got all we know from him. Maybe if the Rousseauopolis we could take that meeting or something for him instead, because I bet that guy is a bad guy.
So how do you want to convince him? How do you want to convince Ramiro, like, to buy into your plan?
Yeah.
So I think I'd probably like I'm gonna act like I'm leveling with him and be like, so Ramiro,
yeah,
I think that you're really onto something here. We've been looking into this too, and we think that we can take down this cult, but we don't have enough evidence to take to the FBI, and so
I don't care about the FBI. I don't care about evidence. I just want to find out what happened to Edward.
Well, I think that's your, you know, you can't do this by yourself. It's clear. So you need some people to help you. And if you ever want to see Edward alive again, or just find out where Edward is, you need some help. We're here to help you.
So Kitsune, you want to do the convince?
Sure. So let's see here.
Are you hypnotizing him?
Oh, yeah, probably. Make hypnotic suggestion. I don't know if this is like a full trance or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so yeah, definitely gonna do that. And then to convince, I don't think anything else applies unless because I'm not being daring. I'm like encouraging him to be daring.
Sure.
So,
Absolutely. Let's have you roll.
Convince. It's a 10.
Absolutely. So I think that he's exhausted, and you're holding out some hope to him. So he's like, okay, yeah, I'll go with you, whatever you need me to do. We can do that. I mean, if you want to take this meeting with Rosopoulos' people, you can do that. But if you find out anything, you have to tell me.
We will definitely tell you. Don't worry, Ramiro. We'll see. We'll find out everything we can.
So are we gonna hide him in our hideout?
Still think that's a bad idea.
Where should we hide it? It should be like.
Do you have like a dorm room or something?
Hold on. Have you been followed? Have you noticed yourself being, tailed or anything like that?
I mean, not that I've noticed, he says in the most, I don't have any skills in that way.
Oh, the meta part of that was, well, a couple ways to view this. He's managed without us, and you don't want him back at Nerd Central, right, Kitsune?
Our secret lair is cooler than Nerd Central, but no, I don't think he should go to our secret lair.
I think we could certainly, if you wanted to hand wave it, we could certainly put him in Excalibur's care for the moment.
Sure, that'd be great.
She's probably
2 weeks of driving around in the limo.
Yes, just constantly circling in the limo. He'll live in the limo.
Looking for a parking space.
Road trip.
And so, what do you want to do? You want to try and assault this place? Do you want to try and meet with Rosopoulos' people? You want to investigate further? What do you think is the next logical step for you? Flicker?
Maybe Rosopoulos, because like they're natural enemies, so he might aid us at least, and then we might get a connection as to why she is targeting him.
Does that seem? What do you think, Grasscutter?
I think we need to make that connection first. We need just a little bit more info before we can, fight someone. So I agree with. I hate to say this, but I agree with Flicker.
And what are you down with that then, Kitsune?
Yeah, I think that Kitsune probably assumes that it's going to be like a James Bond film, even though he's never seen a James Bond film because he's like really young, and it's like he thinks he's just going to go undercover and be really slick and like get the bad guy to tell him everything.
Absolutely. So we cut from there in the preparations to the meeting place with Rosopoulos' people. The shopping montage of everybody getting ready, going all James Bond, gathering their things together, and then we will essentially cut to a bakery / cafe kind of place. Greek, has all the beautiful baklava and all those kinds of things up there, and lovely dishes, and you come in, and the place is pretty cleared. There are a couple people working there, and there is a guy seated, really thin, like bony, kind of a beakish nose, kind of scruff of hair around the outside. Definitely not Rusipolis, but clearly waiting for you. Has those cups of like just super dark, pour it like tar coffee, and he's kind of a little bit hunched and clearly waiting for you, and he's trying to judge which of you three is the person he needs to talk to.
One, two, three, not it.
Do you want me to talk like a gangster or what?
It's like we all do that awkward teenager thing where we're like, no, you go, you go.
Totally. Yeah, we all like back up and try to. Someone else is slightly more forward than the other two.
Says, I don't have a hell of a lot of time.
Fine. Does Minion Nadar mean anything to you?
Come and sit down.
All right.
Who are you?
I'm the award-winning artist of Cannonball and the Hawk.
What is that, a comic strip?
My representation likes for me to represent myself as a graphic illustrator.
What the fuck? Who are you? Turns to you, Kitsune.
I'm his bodyguard.
Really?
And then I just like get like kind of told him like, hey man, I can take you on for sure.
He sits back, puts his hands, kind of claw-like hands on the table, and he says, okay. And who are you, little lady?
Yeah, I've got like a trench coat on and a hat. and I'm like, I am the knight. No, I'm just kidding. I don't say that. I say I'm a private investigator hired by concerned families that know exactly what's going on here.
And what, then, is exactly going on?
You people are being targeted.
Uh-huh. And?
Where's Rosopoulos? That's who the meeting was scheduled for.
I am Mr. Rusopoulos' representative in these matters.
What matters are these? Does this happen often?
No. Not that often.
Why don't you tell me what you know, and I'll tell you what we know.
Let's have you roll convince.
Is Excalibur here?
No.
Okay, convince. I don't want to use sarcastic remarks.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
I don't know if I have anything that really applies to this.
Well, then just roll. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, convince. 10. I'm good at this. I've been rolling 10s for days.
He says, well, here's the thing is, I want to know who's been targeting our people precisely. Now, you said a name to me when you came in, Midyanadar, which is not a name that I had heard before. So,
what is it worth to you?
well, how about you tell me, and we won't kill you right here.
That's a good start. I'll say that it's Minya Nadar who's doing this, but I expected you to know why. She seems to be incensed by you all.
That really doesn't matter. All that matters is that we find her and kill her before she can light anyone else up.
And then I slide a post-it note with her address on it.
And he will take that from you and he will say, excellent, excellent. And he looks at the two of you and he says, I'm very sorry all three of you got mixed up in this.
Definitely owes us favors. That's how the mob works.
No, I think you misunderstand. We're not the mob.
What are you?
We're gods. And you see him raise up his hands and you'll see this corona and crackle of energy around him. And you'll see him begin to manifest these feathers like a beak, like some sort of humanoid vulture. And he says, it's feeding time.
I act
And that's
before
what
it
we're going to take
happens.
up in next week, okay?
Okay. That was a good finale.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
I feel really bad about calling him a vulture earlier.
Yeah. He didn't hear that. It was a text.
It was a little on the nose. I mean, beak. I mean,
so we'll take up with that next time. We'll start with that. That'll give us a scene to do some conflict and play out some of the conflict mechanics, because she's going to have backup and we'll be able to play that out and get us to a scene on that. And hopefully we'll have Excalibur back next time, so she absorbs some damage as well, and we'll give that a try.
Some damage, yeah.
I did kind of hard to frame us a little bit to get us to a conflict thing, because I did want to, since we've had a couple of sessions of talking, investigating, I wanted to get it to something where we can play that out. So I hope that is okay with you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cool. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
see
like
that coming.
Well, we'll take that up next time. We'll keep playing. I definitely, at the end, once we get done with all 4 sessions, I want to take at least 15-20 minutes to talk about our impressions of the system as we're seeing it. This is a little bit longer than the first time I played it, and it's certainly with a little heavier set of the rules, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're meeting on the 19th and the 26th?
Yes, that'll be the next 2 sessions.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you all very much. I appreciate you playing, and we didn't have Darren, and so we took out the financial leverage from your set, but I enjoyed everybody's play. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stop the broadcast.